Welcome, welcome, welcome in, my lovely possum friends. And we are offensive points. Tonight we're going to cover players that you shouldn't draft at their current ADP. Now, if they fall a little lower and you get a good value on them, we're all for it. But we're just going to kick it around. We have a couple thoughts we want to get out there to the masses, and we're just going to have a nice, chill evening. It's going to be real relaxing because the NFL season is right around the corner, and in 15 fucking days we have NFL football. Yes, September 4th, we got the Cowboys, we got the Eagles, and then watch out because right around the corner, there's a game in Brazil on Friday. So we're already getting a Friday night game, and it is going to be awesome. So I just want to get it in everyone's head that, yeah, you set your Thursday lineup, you're all pumped for the season, you're like, all right, Sunday. No, it's Friday, and you got to get your Friday guys in. It's going to be fun. Anyway, Josh, Billy, what's up? How are you?
You know, I always love this. By the way, I'm Josh. For those video listeners that are a little confused, might look like my brother. Yeah, it is Josh. Just cut the hair off and the beard just to scare my child. It worked. It was super fun. Had a great time. Now I'll grow my beard back out. We'll see the progression here. It's not like Joe where I get a full beard within 2 days. It'll take a little while. We'll be there. But no, I love this podcast because it always brings me back to the early days of this podcast where we just screamed at each other for like 20 to 30 minutes, which is not. I mean, it's probably going to happen on this one. I have spoiler alert. I already know I disagree with Billy on at least one thing, so we'll have a good time here. I got the color set to red behind me. It doesn't really go with the Eagles green, but just a little anger, a little fieriness to this podcast.
Rage, I like it.
Or I'm hungry because there's also McDonald's colors now, red and yellow. Careful.
By the way, college football starts this weekend. If you all are interested in that, we got Farmageddon over in Ireland. Kansas State versus Iowa.
Oh,
Iowa State.
Yeah.
It's called Farmageddon.
Plains Ageddon.
Yeah,
that word.
So, I mean, there is technically some actual football happening this weekend. I mean, I know you all love college football, but
I'll watch
football. It'll work. You know what? I'm proud of you, Joe. Yeah, Iowa State versus Kansas State, and yeah, it's called Farmageddon. It's gonna be a fun one. All right. We have news. We actually have some good old news that has been popping up. We got some trades today, which aren't really that big of a deal, but I still feel like we should talk about them. And then I feel like the biggest news drop that happened when the company sound effect is Daniel Jones is the starting quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. So
Indiana Jones, baby.
Indiana Jones is officially a part of the podcast with the legendary Indiana Jones whip crack. So
official.
Are we actually happy about this? Like, I'm actually happy about this because I feel like all of the Indy wide receivers are actually going to be a little bit buffed now. Do you guys kind of feeling the same way?
I just think it's time that we finally admit that everybody on Twitter is like, the Colts aren't even trying to win. I think it's time to just admit that Anthony Richardson might just not be an NFL caliber quarterback. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, everybody, you can be wrong every once in a while. The fantasy analysts and the people who drafted him are very excited. We're hopeful. We've seen a couple seasons. It's been injury ridden. It's been fun on the ground, but never really got the passing game going. And the team looked bad. They replaced him 3 different times over one time by default. But two different times last year, and it just wasn't it. It's just not it. Let's try Daniel Jones out, man. Daniel Jones is at least fun. He can run the ball too. It's very similar actually, and maybe Anthony Richardson gets a crack, and maybe this actually makes him a better quarterback in the future. We hope at least.
The only thing that Daniel Jones is better at is he has a slightly better injury rate or lesser injury rate than Anthony Richardson. They're still pretty close. If you're an Indy fan and you're like, oh man, this season's gonna be totally different, pump your brakes a little bit because we've seen Daniel Jones. I'm not ready to believe it. I do like it for the Colts weapons. I think Tyler Warren's going to kill it. I think Pittman's going to be relevant. And best news of all is for Jonathan Taylor because Daniel Jones actually likes to dump off, which Anthony Richardson was not doing for quite a while. So I think it's good for the weapons. I think for the team overall, you're probably looking at the exact same season you had last year. Sorry.
Yeah, I guess the only thing is, like, I don't think the story's over with Anthony Richardson. He's only 23. I mean, there's like long time left that he could potentially actually develop into a good quarterback. But at the same time, Indianapolis coaches are like, I'm not losing my job waiting for that to happen. So I don't feel like the story's over here. Like Daniel Jones has had such a long leash in his NFL career. Anthony Richardson has played 15 games that he started. I don't feel like we can just write him off completely. However, I know at the time being, can't really trust him. So I guess I get it, but it's just kind of, I don't know. I guess we'll see. The
Would you be trying to
story
trade
is not over. In fantasy football?
Dynasty?
Sure.
Dynasty, that'd be fun,
for sure.
I do think Riley Leonard is going to start games for this team this year. So just mark that.
That's even more scary thought. Well, I mean, they did come out and say that Daniel Jones is for sure starting every game. It's not going to be eventually we're going to transition out. They said, he is the planned starter for the whole season.
I love everything about that. Like, just commit to your quarterback now. And obviously, if an injury happens and Anthony Richardson gets a crack at it, like that happens, whatever. But don't do the whole, well, we're not sure yet. We'll figure it out as the season goes.
He said he gets a crack at it.
I know it was just a little late, but it was great. It was great.
I know. Well, it took me a second because I had to.
Yeah, you got to find the button with it, but it's a new.
I know.
Button.
Well, I'm not used to having a button again, but I do. So yeah,
I missed our buttons.
That's fun. I do think the Colts are not planning on winning this season, which probably sad for Indy fans, but is what it is.
This team can be. I mean, they're not going to win the Super Bowl. Let's be real, but I think this team can be better than people admit they will be. I mean, Daniel Jones is not a great quarterback. We all know that, but does he give them a better chance to win than Anthony Richardson? I think the answer is yes. And I think this helps Jonathan Taylor as well, because you're not going to have the Anthony Richardson scrambles and, designed runs and everything. Instead, you'll have Daniel Jones only really running when he has to, which he's actually not bad at it. He doesn't have breakaway speed by any means, but he's had some pretty big runs,
We've seen some big ones. The legendary
you're going to have to see a lot of them.
The trip up. I was thinking it too. There's like a 70-yard rushing touchdown against the Eagles, and
legendary highlight reel there. But yeah, so I don't know. I guess we'll see. I don't think they're better than Jaguars, and they're definitely not better than Houston. I guess we'll see them and the Titans, what happens there. But they're kind of on equal ground a little bit. So yeah, we'll see. All right, some more trades happened today, which for most people didn't really mean much because this is the kind of thing that only sickos that do Dynasty really care about, but I think it was interesting. So the Chiefs traded Sky Moore to the 49ers. I know that the 49ers are without some wide receivers for a while, so I guess this is just a move to help them. But, I mean, Dynasty-wise, Sky Moore might be a little buy low situation here, or maybe this kind of made him not viable. I don't know.
Probably
in hindsight, Debo's contract is looking like they're like, man, we should have just given him a contract because I know he wanted out, but damn, you had Ricky Pearsall miss. You had Jacob Cowing miss. You have Juwan Jennings. Sorry, Demarcus Robinson just got suspended. I mean, like, what is this receiving core going to look like come season? I don't know.
I think they'll be fine. A lot of these are. I don't want to say. I don't want to say like not serious, but more maintenance issues than anything. Like, I mean, they're not playing the preseason, which sucks for them because that'd be great to have that kind of wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2 reps. But I think they'll be fine overall. It doesn't look like anyone's going to miss significant time at the end of the day. But like, will Jennings be ready for week 1? I don't know. But like at the end of the day, like he'll be back soonish. I mean, so I think it just sucks more for developmental reasons. I'd love to have said Jennings is our number 1 wide receiver or something, or Pearsall's our number 2 receiver, and just have like that set. So I think this was really just a maintenance move by getting another guy in the room. And honestly, Sky Moore's kind of one of those guys that was like the Patrick Mahomes one throw a game, and sometimes it hit and sometimes it didn't. So I don't hate the move for them. Get some young guys in there and that have the ability to make some plays, and who knows what they can crack out to be, especially with this receiving room being what it is.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, he was going to get cut. This is basically what all this is today.
Yeah,
it's just like, these are players that were going to get cut, but we can trade you them so that you can for sure have them. So pretty much what that is. Going on to what I think is the more shocking trade is Devon Vele, who we all just kind of were writing off, but kind of thinking he still had a starting spot, was traded to the Saints for a 4th-round pick and a 7th-round pick. The Saints gave up a 4th-round pick for Devon Vele. he's going to be probably playing football this season a lot. Like, I would not trade a 4th rounder for nothing, like just like a scrap heap guy. So this is kind of a wild trade for me personally. I don't know.
Do the Saints not have like the #1 waiver move anyway? Like, are they going to be one of the worst teams? Like, I don't know what the waivers look like in the offseason for these teams, but like, shouldn't they have been able to get him as a cut? Like, why did they have to throw a 4th and a 7th? It just seems like an aggressive amount of picks.
I really don't know.
Like a 6th,
29-year-old guy.
I mean, Vela's cool and fun, but they do love their old receivers.
They do.
I'm sorry, this dude is trash, man. Like,
I think this says more.
He let Bo Nix down. Like, that's what.
Yeah, I think this says more about Pat Bryant and Troy Franklin, how they feel about
100%.
Because I feel like Vela was kind of an integral role early on in the season and had some really fun, like 6-7 target games. And then this just shows Pat Bryant, Troy Franklin, and Mims they're solid with their 4. I mean, and obviously Sutton and Ingram.
Yeah.
Pat
Also,
Bryant looks so good.
This is a boost to Ingram, by the way, because that Vele role, those 7 targets a game, 7 catches a game that he got the week 1 and whatever other week it was, those are going to Ingram now. Like, they just know that those are to Ingram, and then, sure, maybe 1 or 2 of them go somewhere else. But this is gonna be fun for fantasy purposes for Sutton and Ingram managers.
It is. I don't know what to do with Vele though. Like, I don't know if he needs to be picked up or. I don't know. I mean, Dynasty, obviously, he's probably on a roster, but like in regular fantasy, I think he might be a starter for the Saints. I don't know. I don't know what they're planning to do this year.
I feel like the problem is like Shaheed and Olave are already going so late that like Vele, I don't think he's gonna get drafted in most leagues. So he's probably just gonna be one of those waiver wire guys. Maybe might be our first waiver wire guy that everyone goes after week 1 if he somehow picks up the playbook really well.
That's true. I don't know. This is weird times. It's a weird trade, and I hate to think that the Saints are just doing like Sean Payton a solid. Like, why? Why would you do that?
Can we do one more trade that Mr. John Mechie, Joe's least favorite guy because he had cancer, is now a Philadelphia Eagle. No, I'm
Joe. Let's see who your first do not draft is, Joe. Let's see exactly.
That's exactly who I was going to say. Do not draft John Mechie. No, dude, this is great for the Eagles. And, man, just basically doing exactly what they did with Dotson last year where they got him right before the season started. Pretty excited about this. And not to mention has connections with Alabama, Devontae Smith. Not really quite Jalen Hurts, but I'm sure there's, some sort of crossover there, knowing of who each other are. So
true.
Wish him well.
Okay.
Sure.
We'll take that. That's the nicest thing you could have said. All right. On to our main topic for the episode. We've got Do Not Draft, and we have an accompanying song. We played it last year. We're going to have to play it again this year. So without further ado.
I'm scanning the list, making my pick for the winner. There's a name or 2 I never risk. You better be quick. They're bound to drop the ball, fumble and fall.
I ain't taking no calls for players who stall. They'll leave you appalled. The same old story every year. Time to market clear. Let me be sincere.
Do not draft. Steer clear from the mess. You know the names by now. They're far from the best. We'll make it simple with your lead with ease. Just remember these names and avoid the disease.
I like AI because they just go rhyming words and they just put as many rhyming words as possible in there. That's the best thing about that.
So people at my work do this all the time for relevant work things, and I'm not gonna lie, somehow they're really good. Like, I mean, they're stupid and corny and cheesy, but like they always hit. Like, I don't know what kind of things they're feeding them and what you fed them. If you just said don't draft fantasy football, like they freaking nailed it. Like, yeah, sometimes is on it. Sometimes they're not though. So
it's true. That song's pretty good, but good for AI.
Before we get into this, and this is for all those non-IDP refusers out there. We're going to talk about do not draft. I just want to do a little draft etiquette for you, or not even etiquette, just smart for yourself. Don't reach for team defenses and kickers. Like, it's just silly. Like the funniest thing is these people listen to all the analysts and they look at all the mock drafts and they see everyone take defenses and kickers as their last 2 picks because everyone just agrees that it's not worth it to reach to get the Ravens defense the 10th round. Every single year, and one to many leagues that I'm in, I see the number one defense or someone thinks is the number one defense off the board in like the 7th round because they need to fill their roster out. You do not. Go get some more receivers. Go get a backup quarterback. Go get a tight end, 3rd tight end. I don't care, man. Just do not be the kicker, defense guy. I just needed to get that out. Throw it out there, but it'll still happen.
Can I say something?
Appreciate your PSA. Okay.
All right. So we've all been up here. We say wait on quarterback, wait on defense, wait on kicker, especially defense and kicker last round. It seems like this year, for whatever reason, our years of pounding the table for this are finally kicking in. Because I've been in a lot of drafts with some casuals, and they're waiting on quarterback, and they're waiting on kicker and defense. Yes, I still am in some of those leagues. I'm not opposed to actually taking, not in the 7th round like you said, but I don't think I'm waiting until the last round anymore to draft a defense or a kicker. Because I think if you wait till like that, 3 rounds from the last and take a good defense and let everyone else do what they've been reading about in magazines, you get a really good defense and you get a good kicker. And I'm not opposed to it.
The problem
more
is,
now than ever.
The problem is the kickers are usually not like we're well past like there's one kicker who's good and then the rest are okay. Like there's so many good kickers out there that vary from week to week. Chris Boswell was the leading kicker last year, and he was undrafted. Defense, the Eagles were undrafted. I got them in every league because they got, they did really well and they were the best defense in the league. So, I mean,
you drafted them when they were bad though. So
I didn't draft them. I picked them up out of free agency afterwards. I think I drafted like the Broncos defense or whatever it was to start. And then I ended up just picking up the Eagles. And I think I had both of them for a while. And then I was like, this is stupid. Why would I have 2 defenses? Now you're going to drop your defense, especially in a 6-bench league, or a 6-man bench. Like you're going to end up dropping your kickers. You're going to drop your defensive players on bye weeks. Like, quit worrying about it at the end of the day. Like, I mean, there's 10 defenses that you'll be able to choose from, 12 defenses. You can find one. Like, I'm not saying you have to wait till the last 2 rounds, but like, do not draft them in the 7th, 8th round, like 9th round even. No. Like, it is the last 3 rounds. If you want to jump the gun and instead of the last 2 rounds, you do the third last round, sure, man. Go get your Ravens defense that hopefully will still be good, even though they're ranked as the number 1, I don't know. I don't even know who's ranked as number 1.
You're right. I'm just saying this is like a societal study sort of thing because we've been just absolutely pounding on this for, 4 years for us. And I know the industry has been doing it for longer about don't reach for this, don't do that. And now it's finally starting to sink in. So maybe that's just how we should expect society to operate from now on. And I don't think so. Obviously not 7th, 8th.
Not the leagues I'm playing in, at least. I'll report back after 2 weeks from now podcast. I'll report back and let you guys know how I feel. What happens?
That's fair.
Please do.
I hate kicker leagues. I hate defensive leagues. Like I just can't do it.
I don't hate the kicker, man. I don't know why everyone hates the kicker. It's part of the game. It's the same thing as IDP. Like you can't argue IDP.
It's not a part of the game. There's no one else that's on your fantasy team on the field at the same time as the kicker. Just straight away. That's not happening. No.
I'd love to play what's the Fantasy Football 11 where it's like offensive line too? There's just no good scoring system.
They should just fold it into special teams, to be honest, and just make it defense special teams.
No, because nothing worse than defense special teams getting 30 points in a game, and it's like,
trust me, I don't want that either. But I also don't want a kicker getting 30 points and a defense getting 20 points, and the rest of your team shit the bed. And these 2 random things get you 50 points. It's so stupid. It's stupid that
I know I'm on the minority of the kicker leagues. I know a lot of people hate kickers. I love kickers. I think it's part of the league personally. That's just I'll never
spot another actual football player on the team, please.
I'm indifferent.
Can we put him in the middle? Can we swap the rotation?
We'll just swap Joe to the middle and make sure that
there we go.
Keep a fantasy moderate.
All right, who wants to start us off here? Joe, do you want to go first?
Yeah.
I feel like going off of what your take was about John Mechie, that maybe this one will just take it straight away.
I'm really offended by the John Mechie hate. That is not what I said at all. And if you guys want to go back and listen like 3 years ago, that is not what I was saying at all.
For all the people who do not understand this inside joke, Joe said that you can cut him in a taxi confession or whatever we were doing, and we were like, no, you can't. It's been blown out of proportion at this point. Joe does not hate cancer patients, I don't think.
No. And I think we can all agree that John Mechie could have been cut.
Well, not anymore. Now he's on the Super Bowl winning team.
I'm right back in it. Okay. All right. So my first do not draft for the 2025 season. We're not in 2022 anymore. We're talking about James Conner, who somehow is going
Cancer
a full round ahead.
God damn it. He's right though. Cancer survivor. Couldn't have done it better.
He's
Why do you think I wanted you to go first, Joe?
I thought you honestly I forgot who Joe had. That's so great.
I fell right into it, Bill.
You did. I had you
okay. He's going a full round ahead of where he was last year. I get it. He was RB19. He's going as RB19. He had 1,500 yards last year, 9 touchdowns. Going into his age 30 season, I just think that the Cardinals want to give him a little bit more of a rest, especially if they want to be successful. They took Trey Benson in the 3rd round last year. He's looked pretty good this preseason. And I don't know, James Conner, I can't say it, but he has not been the epitome of health throughout his career. He finally had a full season last year. And he's going above Pacheco, Ted McMillan, David Montgomery. He's starting to sneak into the 4th round. I'll just take those other guys and let someone else take James Conner. All right. Point proven. Let me have it.
So I don't disagree with you. It's not because he had cancer. I actually think that's awesome. Love that he's had. Honestly, whenever James Conner came out, and this was not, once again, not because of cancer diagnosis.
You thought it was awesome that he had cancer?
No, I thought it was awesome how well he did in Pittsburgh. His rookie season or his sophomore season. I think his rookie season either got cut short or he just didn't play. I can't remember. But I remember like seeing him break out. And I was like, holy crap! Wow, that's awesome. And then we saw the dud sophomore year, and then I was completely off of James Conner. And I didn't have James Conner in a team until this last year. And I didn't even believe in him. I just had him. And I was like, it was one of those like draft, because he went like, I don't even know, like 8th round or something. And I was like, sure, I need another running back. And he honestly coasted me to the championship. I think I lost, but not his fault. But no, big plays from him, and honestly consistent play, which is great. But like the end's got to come sometime. They drafted, like you said, they drafted Benson for a reason last year. There's definitely going to be a changing of pace. I don't know if it's going to be a full split. I think, but at the end of the day, like I don't want to be there when it is a split. So I think I agree with you in the fact that I'm just like avoiding Conner. Like once again, if he falls into my lap and I kind of have to take him, then I will. But I'm not like overly excited. I actually almost chose James Conner to be my do not draft, but it almost felt wrong because I was like, I've been so wrong about him for so many years at this point where I'm like, nope, can't do it. And that year he had, what is his first year in Arizona? He had a huge year. So
yeah, it's the 4th round draft grade that's getting to me.
Yeah,
I'm kind of neutral on it, but I do think that I will be staying away from James Conner. I mean, call it the Derrick Henry argument that, I mean, he eventually is going to slow down in 2057 when cyborgs, when he has to get called to arms and, fight for, cyborgs. But James Conner it's going to slow down eventually. And I think we're getting there this year. I do think this team wants to be more pass happy too. I think it's going to be less runny, more passy.
Fair enough.
I like that. runny.
That's all I got.
Runny. We're just gonna let that one go, man. All right, well, I'm gonna go next because there's a guy that I'm just seeing go crazy right now, and I kind of understand the reasoning, right? Like Jaden Daniels, big year last year, rookie breakout, won a lot of fantasy football championships, myself and I believe Billy included. And I once again, another guy just kind of walked into it, wasn't targeting, just kind of ran out of options, did the weight on quarterback, and he fell in my lap. I'm like, let's see what we got here. And yeah, he was really good. The only issue is he is tiny, not he's tall. He's just skinny. And I'm terrified of injuries. Not only that, I think we're vaulting him just a little too high from his performance last year. Yes, he was QB5, but he's going as QB2, QB3 above Lamar Jackson. The hate for Lamar Jackson is just ridiculous. Above Jalen Hurts, above Joe Burrow, who was just lights out last year as well. I think we're jumping it as if like something different's going to happen. And I'm like, honestly, even if he doesn't regress, like, I don't think that that's a problem, but to draft someone in the 3rd round of a fantasy football draft for me is like, I'm getting the sure thing. Like I'm getting Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes 5 years ago, or in my opinion, Jalen Hurts. Like I know I'm getting 15 rushing touchdowns and some decent yardage on the other side. And maybe even a passing touchdown or two. Like, I'm looking for consistency when I'm going here. And with Terry McLaurin's contract, fat Debo Samuel there. I'm sorry, I didn't coin that.
Damn.
Phrase, but It's been coined. I didn't do it. It's Twitter shaming. I don't do with body shaming, but Debo doesn't look like he used to look like.
Okay.
The only good thing Debo's got going for him is they don't have a running back, I guess, currently because of the whole Brian Robinson, McCroskey thing, Bill, but at the end of the day,
never calling that dude Bill. Never calling that dude Bill.
I'm calling you McCroskey now, so it doesn't matter. You're going to be associated.
Jacory.
We'll swap it. But no, I'm terrified that these people who draft Jaden Daniels are like the people who drafted Mahomes in the first round and couldn't put a roster together because they're just sacrificing so much on, honestly, in my opinion, a hopeful case. While it was amazing what he did last year, we saw what happened with CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud threw for 5,000 yards his rookie year, and it has not looked the same since. I'm not saying that's going to happen to Jaden Daniels, but I'm not taking the chance on it. I'd rather just wait till the 7th, 8th round and go grab Kyler Murray and figure it out from there instead of having this enigma of a quarterback who had one good year, who should stop running the ball, could get injured, has a wide receiver who will not sign a contract. They're talking about trading, and there's just too many ifs for me. And then 3rd round, 2nd quarterback off the board, go draft Lamar Jackson, go grab Josh Allen, and then relax on quarterback for a little while. But anyway, that's just my cup of tea there.
That preseason game when he ran for that touchdown, I was watching it. I was like, dude, he is about to get lit the hell up. And then the defender just stopped running. He kind of put his hands up and bumped into him, and he went to the end zone. And I was just picturing during the season the safety not hurting him. So, yeah, you're right. You're drafting him at his ceiling. He's extremely talented. There's a lot of weird stuff going on. We just saw CJ Stroud regress in his 2nd year. It's within the realm of possibilities that Jaden Daniels does the same thing, but it's just really high.
True. I'm right there with you guys. I had him last year because of where I got him. I'm probably going to have him in one keeper league this year. But I'm still taking where I'm keeping him still better value than where he's getting drafted right now. And I just don't want to ride the roller coaster again. It was fun last year, had a blast. Made my stomach hurt a couple times, but now I'm kind of done. I want to play a more safe route guy that I can feel good about, like a Joe Burrow. I'd rather go that route.
Taking Fields,
Jaden Daniels.
Well, while we're here, because we are still here,
ride the roller coaster again.
Jaden Daniels had 3,800 passing yards his rookie year. Jalen Hurts had 3,800 his 3rd and 4th year, and had equal number, if not more, touchdowns. Obviously, 1 year was kind of marred by a lot of interceptions because had some struggles there. But why does Jalen Hurts get so much hate? I don't understand we're doing top 10 quarterbacks. We don't have Jalen Hurts on there for no reason, and it's just he's clearly a top 10 quarterback. And did he not throw that much last year? Yeah. Well, when you have Saquon Barkley running it for a 75-yard touchdown, you don't have to throw that much. But the Jaden Daniels hype to the Jalen Hurts hype is just so wild. Where Jaden Daniels is QB number 3 and Jalen Hurts is going as QB 6 in some leagues. I don't understand the hate there.
Who's really underrated is Caleb Williams, and I'm just playing.
I just want to say I am so proud of you for somehow turning that Jaden Daniels take into a. What about Jalen Hurts?
I'm just saying. Similar rushing yards, more touchdowns, rushing.
I know it's just I think we can both, me and Joe, appreciate that somehow we got into Eagles talk out of the Jalen Daniels conversation. No, you're fantastic. No. Well, speaking of,
you're Eagles, right though. The hate he gets is so painful to watch.
It's so funny.
It is. Honestly, literally, I got the shirts because of the hate. The hate bred that shirt that we all have now. That Jalen Hurts is good. The hate made that shirt a thing.
It's just a great shirt. But,
I'm glad that it's worked out well for us. But okay, well, I personally still want to talk about the Eagles, so I'm going with my first do not draft, and I kind of have both sides of the argument prepared, so I can also talk down on my own point. But I'm picking AJ Brown as my do not draft. So he's currently going second pick in the 2nd round, 14-ish overall. I just could he return that value? Sure. Is he going to return that value? there's a lot of things that you could talk yourself into like not going in that favor. The Eagles' offense last year was fantastic. They didn't really need him to do much, so that's why it led to him not really having that great of a season statistically. But he was still really good in the games that he played. He did miss 3, but I don't see why they would push him to be a 1,200 to 1,300 yard receiver again when they don't necessarily need him to, and they just proved it by having one of the best offenses in the league and winning a Super Bowl with him being wide receiver 20 was his finish last year. I mean, I can't stress that enough. And I just think there's guys that you can get above him or actually below him that are going to return better value for you. Like, for example, last season, and I know this is with him missing 3 games, but we're still just going to have to go off of what happened rather than the hypotheticals. Tyreek Hill, who everybody hates this season, finished above him. Everybody hated him last season because they were like, oh, he was a bust. Finished above A.J. Brown. Jacoby Myers finished above A.J. Brown. Everybody hates him, semi-hates him, but he's going 7th, 8th round, returns similar stuff. And then Jameson Williams.
Him Bill, too?
We should probably call him Bill.
Yeah.
Bill Myers.
Okay.
And then Jameson Williams, who finished just 1 point off of A.J. Brown last season. And while the Lions might not be able to replicate it, that we still don't even really consider Jameson Williams on the same level as A.J. Brown in drafts. And so I just feel like you're drafting him at peak. I don't think he's going to get into the top 10. So I don't know. It's just my feeling that they're not necessarily going to regress as an offense, but I think they're going to regress in having to use him that much. So for me, I'm just out at his current price because I think you can get guys later that are going to return better value for you. And they're a little bit more dart throwy, but I still think you're going to get something similar and take somebody better in the second round that's going to get way more targets.
All right. Counterpoint with 2 different arguments. One, we're gonna talk about him with his 4 games that he missed first. So Tyreek Hill had 7 games under 10 points that he had during this better season. So when you were starting Tyreek Hill on your team, you got 6, 7, 8, 7, 9 points games. And when A.J. Brown was playing, there's only 2 games under 10 points. So consistency's sake, you were getting 19 points, 18 points, 16 points out of A.J. Brown in those games that he played. And why are we just talking like he missed those games? He's literally on pace to having another 1,400-yard season, as if he was just not going to do that if he had played these games. Second counterpoint is that the Eagles are going to have to throw more this year. This is another counterpoint back to the Jalen Hurts thing. They have the toughest schedule in football. Like, Saquon Barkley is not going to be able to save them every game. And eventually they're going to figure out how to stop Saquon Barkley. I don't know how. Maybe it's just due to all the curses that are against him. That'll be it. But Jalen Hurts is going to have to throw the ball. And who is he going to look for? His big boy, A.J. Brown, out there. I understand the ADP. It is higher. I was a little unfortunate that it is as high as it is because I was hoping to sneak him in, the end of the second or early third. But
that's my argument, by the way, is that's where I think his ADP should be, and him being first, second.
I would take him
second round.
I would take him in the first flip. Or, even early second round. Like, I don't think I'm upset about that. Like, the only person I think that's ADP is lower that I would take, and I'm not quite sure, depending on what rankings you're looking at, is Drake London. Just because he is like the only guy on that team. Mooney's going to miss some time probably at the beginning of the season. You're getting that straight out of the gate. AJ Brown, yes, there is some is this going to be a Devontae Smith, AJ Brown game? The thing is even when AJ Brown and Devontae are playing together, AJ always still gets his, and Devontae is the one who really kind of misses out. Devontae really hits whenever AJ or Goddard is out, but yeah, no, I'm drafting AJ Brown everywhere. I'm not even worried about it. 6 catches, 5 catches, I don't give a shit, man. 90 yards and a touchdown pretty much every time, and I think there's going to be some big games this year where we see AJ Brown in that 40-50 territory, like maybe not 50, but 30-40 territory, where it's just like a huge AJ Brown game. This might be the best year of his career, personally. So I completely disagree.
Best year of the career is a lot, but
Why?
I'm not against it. Billy, I think you're both right here, but I'm going to side with Josh because I do think that, 12 out of their 17 games last year were against really, really shitty bottom third defenses. And now, the Giants stepped up defensively. The Cowboys, hopefully they'll be healthy and have Micah Parsons. They'll probably still be a cakewalk. But I think the schedule in itself, they're going to have to play a lot more football. I don't think we're going to see Devonta Smith and A.J. Brown disappear like we did last year. Devonta Smith, honestly, is a great value at this point. And the cool thing about the Eagles, it's Goddard, Smith, or Brown. Those are the guys that are catching the football. So it's a little rich for my blood, but honestly, this like second tier of wide receivers is really starting to sketch me out here with, the stuff we have with Ladd, with stuff we have with Ladd McConkey, T. Higgins, Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams with Stafford. I think that A.J. Brown's value is even more premier now than it was going into the draft season.
I was going to say, yeah, I mean, he's even on Fantasy Pros at the moment, he's below Drake London. So it's Ladd McConkey, JSN. I might vault over him, but I think at that point, I think you're pretty comparable. Like T. Higgins, Garrett Wilson, Tyreek, like Devontae Adams, like Joe said, like a lot of veterans. A.J. Brown's still in the prime, man. He still looks great, still playing great. I mean, he does have a lingering injury right now, but they're saying he'll be fine. And it's hard to tell with camp news. Like, is this a real injury or is this a, camp news?
You do have to watch out with the soft tissue shit with him, though, because having A.J. Brown on many teams is not as fun.
Again, I'm just saying I don't want to be the one holding the grenade this year. A lot of the problems that we have with other players, like you can definitely say the same thing about A.J. Brown. It's just like he's been.
You did
like,
trade me
really,
A.J.
really
Brown in one league. Can I have him in another too? Because I'm pretty sure you got him in League of Extraordinary Gentlemen still. So
I don't. I traded him away.
Oh, you did trade him away. Yeah, you do back up your points at least. You really do.
Allegedly is who I traded him for.
Hopefully Judd does something for you. All right, Joe, who do you got, man? I'm done talking about the Eagles for just a little bit. We'll be back.
Shit. Mine's not nearly as spicy. It's Baker Mayfield.
It's pretty spicy.
You say Jalen Hurts.
That is spicy. Wow. At where he's being drafted, you're out? Okay.
Yeah, he's currently going like in the 5th round a lot of places. I like Baker. I just think that last year was the best we're going to see at Baker. It's 70% completion percentage, 4,500 yards, 41 touchdowns, 380 rushing yards, which is 200 more than he's ever had in his career before that. He had a QB4 finish. Liam Cohen's gone. I hate the Tristan Wirfs injury, man. I think this is going to kind of bungle up into the season here. And he was top 10 in sacks last year taken. So he had to scramble a ton, which is why he had the rushing yards. But he also had Jalen McMillan, scored 8 touchdowns. Now he's gone. Godwin, who knows what's happening with him. His wide receiving core, we like Ibuka, but it just went from Godwin, Ibuka, McMillan, and Evans to Evans and Ibuka. So you're really asking a lot. He is a rookie wide receiver. I know he's going to transfer in. I just don't think Baker is going to be sustainable with what he did last year. He only had 4 more attempts than he had in 2023, but still had 500 more yards, 13 more touchdowns, and he threw 16 picks. So I don't know. Baker's a fine quarterback. It's just where his ADP is right now. I will not be taking him. I will wait. Like Josh said, for a Kyler, you can get Dak, you can get Herbert, you can get Drake May. I would take all of them and let someone else reach for Baker. Even Caleb. Caleb.
All right, before Billy gets his counterpoint in there, I want to say that I slightly agree with you, but for different reasons. And the reason is because he's QB6 at that like tier QB fall off. I actually love Baker Mayfield. I think he's the 6th best quarterback in this draft. I would absolutely take him in his current ADP, where you see mostly where it's like 70th, like 6th, 7th round. The problem is that's not how drafts go. Like the QB run is a real thing. And when people see they're kind of lumping Baker into that tier 1, tier 2, whatever you call the Jalen Hurts, Joe Burrow tier. So they're kind of lumping him in there for like no reason. And we're seeing him go way too early is the problem. Like I love his ADP at 80, like, and you're like getting him in the 6th round, 7th round. You've got 3 and 3 running backs, wide receivers, whatever your cup of tea is there. I love everything about that, but I am nervous that like it's 1 year being a top 10 quarterback. I mean, technically it was 10 2 years ago. And you're right. There was a lot of touchdowns there. I think this honestly just really screams to me Bucky Irving might actually be the dude. Like I refuse to believe it because I have him in too many dynasty leagues and stuff. And I'm trying not to put all my chips in one basket, but it really is seeming like Bucky's going to be that dude this year, and where he's going to get like some ridiculous amount of touchdowns, maybe more run than we see. Baker cannot throw the ball 600 times a year. Like it's just not sustainable in general. But I think he'll be fine. I don't have any worries about him. Like even because we'll get Godwin back eventually, right? Like obviously Jalen McMillan's a huge loss just as a depth guy. But as long as nothing happens to Evans and Ibuka in the time that Godwin comes back, the 3 of them are going to feast, and it's going to be great. But might be a slow start too is the problem, and people are reaching and drafting him just way too early. That's my problem with him.
Yeah, I don't want fine in the 5th round. That's my argument. But
Yeah, no, I agree.
The argument with all these guys.
I mean, I honestly, my biggest concern is the offensive coordinator switch. Like, it's just we didn't know. I mean, he switched from Dave Canales last 2 years ago to Liam Cohen last year, and actually ended up being better. So who knows how many switches we have to make? That dude has had so many offensive coordinators in his career; it's kind of insane. That's kind of my biggest concern because who knows what this offense is going to be? Because if it's cooking, then it's going to be really good. But if it's takes a few weeks to get everything on the same page, it is going to be weird. Yeah, I mean, 5th round, definitely not. Like 7th round, yeah, I'm probably dunking on that if he makes it that far. And I definitely am not taking Patrick Mahomes over him. Sorry, I'm just never going to do that. But you're right. If somebody takes him in the 5th round, I'm probably going to look over him. All right, buddy, what are we doing here? So yeah, no, I like Baker. He's honestly my favorite player, but 5th round is wild. So yeah,
I love Baker too, but it seems like he's the panic pick. Like as soon as Mahomes goes, everyone's like, "Oh my God, all the good quarterbacks are gone. Give me Baker."
Yeah,
and it's like there's like 12 guys sitting in the hundreds on ADP that I'd be perfectly fine with going into my season as my starter. So at that point, wait, take Lamar if you get a chance. Take Allen.
I'm starting to believe more and more in Cam Ward. Like,
yeah,
why not just take him really stupid late? And I mean, what are they going to run the ball with Tony Pollard the whole year? Hell no. So, I mean, he's got to be throwing, and they're going to be losing. So, I mean, that seemed like a decent pick. I don't know.
Yeah.
Isn't it wild?
Weird,
like the rookie bumps that we get here, like even Genty's getting a bump right now for like no reason. He was already in the 1st round, and now he's like in the middle of the 1st round in some people's mocks and stuff. And I'm just like, that's fine and dandy, but like, why are we not bumping up Cam Ward just a little bit to be like QB 14 or QB 15, like one of the first backup QBs? Like, we're not even giving him a chance. I feel like we've been so burnt by rookie quarter or 1st round pick quarterbacks in the last few years. We're like, people did it with Caleb too. I think they gave him a chance. They were like, he's QB 12, and I'm like, dude, calm down. He hasn't played yet. Like, but at the end of the day, like, it's a great pair, right? Like, past Stafford. I don't know what's going on with his back. Like a Stafford and a Cam Ward, like get yourself a vet and a rook and just like see what happens. Like I love that. Dak Prescott.
I have a theory on Stafford. I agree with your point completely, but I think, and this is far fetched. I think Stafford's old. McVay knows it, and just was like, he's fine. He's been in the league for so many years. He doesn't need to practice or play in preseason. So they made up this back injury to basically just let him chill, to keep him fresh for the season.
I mean, that sounds right to me.
I mean, we did it. Didn't they do it last year too? There's a neck injury, and I mean, I think he was actually injured because that was when Baker broke out for St. Louis for a little, or Los Angeles. Rip.
Wow.
But yeah, that was rough.
It's been like a decade.
It's been a long time. Yeah, no, actually over a decade, I think, but still, rough times. But he balled out for the Rams whenever Stafford had that neck injury, so that actually was real. But yeah, no, I bought a jersey. Maybe he's just missing his breakfast club. You know what I mean? Cup's gone. Like, he doesn't have anyone to eat breakfast with. What's he going to do? Go to camp without breakfast?
Might be. I don't know, man. I just, I'm watching it, and no one can give you an answer about what's going on with his back. And I'm like, if there's anyone that has more high-powered physicians than the NFL, like, someone's going to know what the hell's going on with his back. They're like, we don't know. We'll see. Blah, blah, blah. And he's just hanging out, going to, deprivation chambers for his, I don't know if that's the chamber he was going into, but he was doing all this stuff for his back, just chilling. He was at practice, hanging out. Like, why not just keep him fresh for the season?
No doubt that back hurts, man, after being hit that many times in Detroit. Like, I mean, it's got to just hurt for
rough years.
Some real rough years that he had, but he'll be fine anyway. We're getting a little off topic, but I love it. That's what we do here.
True. It's hard to believe he played with Calvin Johnson. It feels like Calvin Johnson played so long ago that, like, there's no way that a quarterback played with him, right, and still in the league, and Matt Stafford still rolling.
No, that is crazy.
All right, I want to talk about a guy. His name's Mr. RJ Harvey, and now if you look at rankings, you'll see RJ Harvey in the 6th, 7th round, and that doesn't seem so bad. Still a little too early for my blood, but I'm seeing RJ Harvey being drafted over J.K. Dobbins. It just in general, a lot earlier, like 5th round, 6th round, and then Dobbins in the 9th. I don't want any Denver Broncos running back. Let me be honest with you. We did this thing with Javonte Williams. We thought that might be it. Melvin Gordon was fine until Javonte Williams got there and then stole half the show. So we've had this weird split backfield here. We thought maybe Sean Payton would fix that. He did not. He did not fix that. It's actually worse. It's worse than it's ever been. Jaleel McLaughlin was in there. Estime was getting carries. Batty was getting carries last year. And this was all with the healthy Javonte Williams. That's 4 running backs touching the ball. And now I don't even care if they hated Javonte Williams. That's fine. Maybe Javonte Williams just really isn't that good. Maybe I've been wrong about him this whole time. And I'm perfectly happy to admit so. Something tells me that they're not happy with RJ Harvey when they go get J.K. Dobbins midway through camp. Like they saw RJ Harvey run the ball. They drafted him, I think is the second or third running back off the board. And they saw him run the ball for like a solid 2 months at camp. And then all of a sudden, J.K. Dobbins is on the team. Like I was like, okay, maybe this is it. Maybe this is the new rookie. Like this is the dude. I didn't believe RJ Harvey was the third best running back off the board, but whatever they did, they obviously saw something in him. I'm really feeling this has shades of Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Now I'm not saying it's a really bold comparison. I'm not, but it's just one of those high drafted running backs that just didn't work out to be. And Edwards-Helaire had some good seasons, right? Not saying RJ Harvey's a bust, no idea. The problem is there's too many running backs on that team. You got J.K. Dobbins going in the 9th round. I'd rather just take him. And just if I'm going to have any part of this backfield, I'd rather just take J.K. Dobbins, the man who just ran for 1,000 yards and like 15 touchdowns last year. Why would you go with this rookie who's unproven, who they decided to go sign a vet in the middle of the offseason? Like they could have signed J.K. Dobbins or any running back before that, but they waited until they saw RJ Harvey play. Sure. And nothing against him. He's probably a really good running back. He's probably going to be fine. Then you still got Estime there. You still got, I don't know if Batty will be there, but you'll have McLaughlin there for no reason. Maybe they'll get Samaje Perine back somehow. Oh, there's another guy that was there last year. It is just a wild roller coaster of running backs on this team, and I'm just not for it. Like now, if you get him in Dynasty, completely understand. You got RJ Harvey, like great. Hopefully, it works out for you. Just maybe don't start him for a little while. We'll see what happens, because this is a starting running back that you're drafting in the 6th round. So, anyway, what do you guys think? What are your thoughts on RJ?
I like RJ. I think what Sean Payton's trying to do is he's trying to get the Mark Ingram, Kamara, the kind of what we're used to seeing out of in New Orleans, because RJ Harvey is really good at one thing, and it's bouncing outside. And that's kind of what Kamara was really good at with his career too. He's good at receiving. And then you have J.K. Dobbins, who I think the reason they signed him was more their displeasure with Audric Estime, who we saw not even play. I mean, unless there's an injury I don't know about, he's probably on the roster bubble at this point. So I think that Dobbins is, going to be your first and second down back. I think RJ Harvey is going to start off as more of a pass catcher, and over time, it's probably just going to be a really annoying split is kind of how I see this working out. The Broncos have a fantastic offensive line, but I do think the ADPs should be way closer, if not flipped, because I do think J.K. Dobbins is the more experienced running back. It's his first year not being with Greg Roman, so we could actually see him being used as a pass catcher for the first time in his career. And I think RJ Harvey is just going to give you a little bit more of that explosion on the outside. So I think they want to focus on those two guys, let the little guys, Batty and McLaughlin, kind of pick up some slack where it can be. But that's kind of how I see that one shaking out. I like Harvey, but you're right. The ADP is too rich, and it should be flipped with JK. I have been in a lot of drafts, and I have taken JK probably 9 times, and RJ Harvey 0.
Yeah.
I said Bill.
I think people are still worried about J.K. Dobbins from the past. The horrors of the past still live in people's minds. Now, if you're new to fantasy football, you'd probably just be like, oh, yeah, I'll take him. That's great value right there. But everybody who's been playing that has drafted him pretty high when he was playing in Baltimore, and he would just suffer season-ending injury after season-ending injury, you kind of just got cold feet about it. And I think it's just kind of just in the back of everyone's mind of like, well, I'm going to draft RJ Harvey because I know at some point in the season J.K. Dobbins is going down. Now, we didn't necessarily see that with the Chargers. He did miss a couple weeks, I think, but like not overall, he was still pretty good RB2 at times for your roster. I think we're going to have a lot of that this season. I don't really know. I agree. I think RJ Harvey's going way too high because they didn't bring J.K. Dobbins in to like mentor him. They brought him in to like maybe make a Super Bowl push. So the plan is actually to use him, J.K. Dobbins, and then R.J. Harvey can, maybe be the future and get his stuff in there. But yeah, I agree completely. I'm off of R.J. Harvey right now, at least, unless something happens.
And we know Dobbins obviously got injured a couple times back to back, and it was great to see him actually like on pace to have it was his best season of his career. But to me, it's just like, what are we doing here? The man's healthy right now. Like he is fully healthy going into the season.
Nobody wants to see that though. They're just pre-deposition.
Yeah, but you can't pick a guy in the 6th, 7th round because you hope someone's going to get injured. Like at that point, like, there's still other running backs available at that time. Like
look at what happened with Bucky Irving last year. He wasn't drafted a lot, and Rachaad White was, and we all kind of knew before the season that was actually going to maybe overtake at some point potentially. And nobody drafted him. So now you're drafting RJ Harvey when they don't have a guy. That's not the situation here. It's not. We're not even speculating that that's going to happen. And people are drafting RJ Harvey first. It doesn't make any sense. We're not using the same logic year to year here.
It's definitely a draft value thing, and then dynasty rankings.
Probably is.
You see him in the 1st round, and you're like, well, he must be really good. And it's like he probably is. Like I have no doubt that he isn't. It's just more about the scheme and his running mates. And I think J.K. Dobbins is just going to. It's just you're not going to see a 20 carry game from RJ Harvey right out the gate. Like maybe if there's an injury, but I don't even know if that'll happen this year.
Yeah, I think he's going to be more of like a PPR guy off the bat. I do like him in Dynasty a lot. I think he's getting shit on in Dynasty. But redraft, I'm off.
No, in Dynasty, it's great. Yeah, hopefully you got the running back of the future of the Broncos. We're talking redraft right now. I'm trying to win leagues. I'm not drafting a 6th round hopeful.
I know. And it's crazy because you would think this logic would mean way more people are playing Dynasty, and it's just not that way. Like, not everybody's playing Dynasty. So to see his value, I'm like, is it the people ranking? Like, is that what's doing this? Like, it's really hard to tell. Dynasty brain is a hell of a drug. You got to get off of it. So, I mean, maybe that's just what's happening here.
I think a lot of the rankings nowadays come from the underdog drafts that happen immediately after.
Well, that's also true. Yeah. And it's so people don't don't realize that's best ball, and that's not real. It is real for the moment because we have actual value, but it's not real for fantasy football.
Well, I think the rookie brain permeates redraft more
100%.
Ever since underdog came out than before.
And there's the logic of people updating these Excel spreadsheets and like people just downloading them and then having them, and they see RJ Harvey as number 45, and this is pre J.K. Dobbins being drafted. You know, obviously, like I don't know how far that goes, but I've seen some rankings that are completely out of date on the internet, just outside of the 3 main ones that you'll go see. Like if you find someone's rankings that some dude drafted these in July and they're still sitting there with RJ Harvey, J.K. Dobbins hasn't been signed yet. Like, but it looks like, oh man, this guy's really high on RJ Harvey. Maybe I should be after him.
It's true.
No, all kinds of dynasty.
Crazy world we live in. For
sure. All right, let's move on to another running back. He plays for Houston. His name is Joe Mixon. I am completely out on Joe Mixon this year. This is just shaping up to be a mess for the whole season. He's already hurt, probably going to miss. I would say at least miss in week 1, but the way that they're cryptically talking about it might be more time than that. They have Nick Chubb there. They have Woody Marks, who a lot of people like. They still have Dare Ugumbumwale that people like there. What?
Damian Pierce.
He plays game. And I wasn't done listening off the depth chart. Damian Pierce, who might be traded. And then there's actually rumors out there that Brian Robinson might be traded to the Texans. Like that is an actual substantial rumor. And it's like, I'm just out. He had a hell of a season last year, and when he comes back, he probably is going to be the RB1 on this team. But I'm just out, man. I just don't like the vibes. The vibes are just off with Joe Mixon. I like him as a player. I like watching him last year. Seeing him come back was really cool. But he's just often injured. He's got Nick Chubb there for sure. That's going to be eating into his workload. And then he might have Brian Robinson come in and eat out of his workload. Not to mention the other guys that I mentioned, Pierce, Marks, and Ugumbumwale that might eat into his workload. So I'm out, guys. I don't know. I know that he's being drafted as like a substantial number. I didn't even look it up because I didn't need to. I don't want him on my team because this is going to be a headache the whole season.
I'm hoping. Okay, so what's going to happen is Joe Mixon's going to go to that like team that runs out of time on their clock, right? Like because like everyone's going to skip Joe Mixon for a little while. I don't know where he's being ranked either, honestly, but. So he's going to get skipped a bunch, and then someone's going to like run out of time on their clock, and Joe Mixon's going to get drafted to their team. If he goes late enough, I'm down, especially if you got IRs. Like if I got 3 running backs already and I filled out pretty much the rest of my roster, I'm going to draft him before getting a kicker or a defense full circle. But like at the end of the day, like, yeah, it's a pretty sketchy scenario. I'm kind of hoping low key that this is Dameon Pierce's shot though. Like outside of the whole Brian Robinson signing,
it's not going to happen. I love you, but it's not going to happen.
Okay, why are you so negative, man? We're just talking here
about Dameon Pierce.
Yeah, why not Dameon Pierce?
In Josh's defense, I don't know why they hate him. It makes no sense.
I don't know why they hate him either, but I know they do.
8 carries for 76 yards and 19 carries for 176 yards. Two games that he actually got pretty big games last year. He had 19 carries in week 18 at the end when they weren't playing. Dude balled out. Like, just give him a shot, man. Like, I mean, Nick Chubb is great. I'd love to see Nick Chubb be the guy too. Like, which to be fair, go draft Nick Chubb like 100% right now, because even if you get 4 weeks out of him, like it could be huge, and he's basically free at the moment. But like, love to see Nick Chubb in the redemption role. But I have a feeling they're not going to do that, especially if they don't know what's going on with Mixon, especially if they're going to trade for another running back. They're going to slow roll. It's going to be a weird committee, and I could see Dameon Pierce running away with this potentially. Like, I'm just saying, like, literally, like 80-yard touchdown running away with it. And it's like, what if we gave him 20 carries a game? It's like this whole time. All right, anyway, sorry.
So he's going in the 8th round on Fantasy Pros right now.
Mixon?
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't talk because I'm in the 12th round of the league right now, and Mixon's like right up there in my slot that I want to draft.
That's with the IDP though too.
Yeah, he'll be my RB 4 or 5 at that point. So I want to take the upside there, but I'm with you where he has been going and where he probably will go based on name recognition is not what I'm willing to pay for him. And then just as a little preseason conspiracy, I don't understand the hate that Nick Chubb is getting because he looks so slow in these videos. Why the hell would a player like Nick Chubb, who is absolutely fantastic, we've known this for years, he's coming off of the knee injury, why the hell would he go full bore in practice? I mean, I think he's just trying to learn the playbook right now. Is there not a chance that we get to the season, Mixon's hurt, and then Nick Chubb looks like 90% of old Nick Chubb, and you got an absolute steal in the 15th round? Like, is that
Nick Chubb was never fast. Like, I'm sorry, that was never his MO. He was never bulldozing for 90-yard touchdowns. Like, he's just a beast. It's another Derrick Henry. Like, you can just knock over people. Great running back. And honestly, if you get 50% of Nick Chubb, that's an almost 1,000-yard season. Like, it's gonna be a great time for Houston.
I just love watching like all the clips you see on Twitter, and it's Nick Chubb, and they're like, "Oh, he would have ran into the defender there." It's like he would have ran over the defender there. The dude squats like 800 fucking pounds. Why the hell would he go full bore in training camp? It makes no sense.
I think the Nick Chubb Pierce combo could be great. I don't know what Woody Marks is, honestly. I don't know anything about him from college, but I know everybody's hyped about him just because he's a rookie.
He caught more passes in college than I've ever seen.
Oh, right, Jeff. It's the Joe guy. Got it. All right, Joe. Who's your last do not draft, man?
My last one is Jerry Jeudy, and I'm just going to make this really simple. Jerry Jeudy is a fine player. We saw last year that it worked out pretty well. The problem is now you have Joe Flacco, and he's going to start for a few weeks, and then you're going to see Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders or Kenny Pickett. And it's going to be this revolving door of quarterbacks this entire year on an offense that I think is going to have a lot of problems. He is the number one target outside of Njoku for this team, but I just don't think there's going to be any sort of spectacular quarterback play. And I think we're not going to see anything like we saw last year with Jameis. I mean, no one's going to target him at that rate or make those kind of throws that Jameis is capable of making. I think we can all agree we'd rather that Jameis was starting other than Russell Wilson in New York. But yeah, no, I know Jeudy is going late. He's just a guy that a lot of people are expecting wide receiver 1 production for, not fantasy wide receiver 1, but NFL wide receiver 1. And I don't think you're going to get it from him.
So I 100% disagree with you, mainly just because his ADP is essentially free. And there's no wide receivers
it's
that I'm
not
like,
free.
70th?
Yeah, I'd rather have Matthew Golden. I'd rather have.
Yeah, but you can get Matthew Golden 2 rounds later. Like,
I'd take Ibuka over him. I'd take Jordan Addison over him. Ricky Pearsall, Chris Olave.
I mean, I'm not reaching for Judy, but I can see a slip for Judy, right? Because the Browns are just a dumpster fire of an organization. I understand your point with Joe Flacco, but if you get Shedeur Sanders in there sooner rather than later, which I assume is probably going to happen. I mean, the only problem is that is the gamble right there, right? Because Jerry Judy can be his Travis Hunter, man. Like, I think he can be Travis Hunter and better potentially. But we saw what Jerry Judy can do, and I think everyone now knows that. The problem is that last season bumping his ADP up at that point, right? Like, that's where I agree with you here. Like, if he's going too early, like, I'm not reaching for Jerry Judy. I'm like, I see 10 people down. If Jerry Judy's at the top of the list and it's been around, and then I just see him sitting there again, and I like, man, why not have a fourth wide receiver and have it be Jerry Judy? Because, like, what if, you know?
If he's the wide receiver 4, I'm for it. That's fine. But if he's your wide receiver 3 and he's actually starting for you, I don't think that's a smart play.
I would say he'd be my second flex, my backup flex if I'm drafting him.
That's probably a good position for him. But this quarterback nonsense is going to suck.
I don't know. I guess I'm living in a fairy tale land because I'm just like, man, Shedeur Sanders got to get out there, and they're going to actually be a pretty decent offense this season, like, when it's all said and done. I do think the Shedeur Sanders thing, like, I get that he needed to be punished by some people for some reason or whatever, but, like, he's a good quarterback. I'm sorry. I know that he's out there dicing up third string.
And also showing up with an entourage to preseason games for, like,
well, that's reason. Also true. And confronting a Cleveland reporter or whatever, like, after the game. I get all that, but he, like, just looks like an NFL quarterback. Like, I don't know. I'm swear to God, if New Orleans had him, he would be for sure starting week 1 for them, and it wouldn't even be close. So it's like, it's just kind of frustrating to, like, I don't know why we have to do this dance of him and Gabriel, and they're probably going to have 4 quarterbacks because Pickett's going to be on the roster too. I just don't like this whole thing was stupid. I just feel like we're going to look back in like 5 years and just realize this quarterback thing was really stupid with Sanders.
I think we're going to look back next year and see that this is stupid. Because even if Shedeur starts 2 games at the end of the year and does what Michael Penix did, we're going to be like, why wasn't he starting all year?
That's true. And honestly, it probably is going to cost people jobs in Cleveland, and it probably should. Just saying.
Honestly, they should just restart from, like, a fresh, like, keep the roster maybe.
Well, Stefanski doesn't like Shedeur, so that's already a problem. And then going into all of this season. So
here's where I'm at with this, and it's an unpopular take, but I know Kenny Pickett's been injured, but Kenny Pickett was a first-round pick 3 years ago, and the Browns traded for him. They've got him. Mm-hmm. If he goes out and does anything competent, if he has 1 3-touchdown game or wins 1 game in overtime and it's on national TV or something, they could trade him for anything. They could get whatever they wanted for Kenny Pickett. Everyone would be back on board. We've seen this before with quarterbacks. Why wouldn't you just play Kenny Pickett for like 6 games? You know what Joe Flacco is. He's 40 years old. He's on the tail end of his career. Play him for the first part of the season. Start Shedeur or probably Gabriel in the Browns' opinion, because they're going to fumble the fuck out of this. They're going to be like, oh, we drafted Gabriel earlier, so he deserves a shot. But then put Sanders or Gabriel at the end of the year. You could even use Flacco if you wanted. But why wouldn't you do that and at least attempt to get something for Kenny Pickett? I don't understand why they made that move.
Well, in my opinion, why are you even starting Joe Flacco? He's a backup quarterback at best at this point. Like, why don't you start your best quarterback? And so far, like in preseason, it's been Shedeur Sanders. Like, you're coming out here to win games. And honestly, this roster could win games. Like, their defense has been good. Their offense actually looks pretty decent. I don't know what's going to happen with Judkins because the running back game's a little rough right now. But if Judkins actually does play with all the whole shit that's happening with him, you have a top 10 tight end, decent wide receiver room, and a rookie running back and a rookie quarterback. Like, this could be a fun team. Like, you could make the playoffs hypothetically. But if you're going to play quarterback carousel, you ain't doing shit because you're never going to have any continuity from your wide receivers to your quarterback.
Plus, listen to this. This is their starting schedule. You tell me how long Flacco lasts through this. We got the Bengals week 1, going to be a shootout. Well, on one end, it's going to be a shootout. The other end's probably not shooting that much. The second week is against the Ravens. Probably getting dusted in that one. Week 3, Packers. I get that we don't really trust them a whole lot, but they're still a good football
people
team.
Love the Packers, man. They're a top 10 team apparently.
Next, after that, week 4 is against the Lions. Probably getting their ass dusted in that one. And then the Vikings, which we don't really know much about, but at the same time, I think they're better than the Browns. And then they play the Steelers in that always heated game.
That is like
It's
the
just like
murderer's row of defensive lines right there.
Yeah.
Flacco's dead.
How does Flacco survive that? No.
Flacco's just going to be like, I'm good, man. 0-6. Like, let's just get out of here.
Dude, Flacco versus Rodgers might be the oldest QB battle in NFL history. I'd have to look that up. They play the Steelers week 5. That's got to be
someone from like the pre-Super Bowl era has probably already done this, but
probably so.
Old Curly.
Yep, old Curly, 57 years old, smoked every day. All right, Josh, take it away.
All right. So this is probably going to be an unpopular opinion, but after just kind of thinking about it just for a while, and I think I flip-flopped, right? Like I went from this spot where I was like, dude, Bears receivers, the late ones, the Burden, the Adenze, steals, Loveland, steal. I'm going to tell you not to draft a single Bears receiver this year, mainly because we still have no idea. No offense, Joe. We still have no idea what Caleb Williams is. This is the test, right? He's got an offensive line now. He's got more weapons on offense. We hope that it's better. But we don't know. Like, nobody's drafting Caleb Williams as if we know that this is going to be it, which is wild, by the way. Go draft Caleb Williams. I'm going to actually just caveat this with do not draft the receivers, but go grab Caleb Williams and DeAndre Swift. Like, I think that both of them should be on your team. Caleb Williams is free. DeAndre Swift is in a very great value he's like the last running back who has no official competition at the moment on the draft board. Now, Monangai or Roshan could have a role. I don't know. But at the moment, it is DeAndre Swift season and running behind a better offensive line. But my problem is Caleb, and this has just been watching the little preseason action that we've had, and this could be, just nothing but camp news, but the 2 tight ends is killing me, man. I think that's what's killing me here. And I'm including them. Do not draft them either. Because anyone who thinks Loveland is like the dude, he will be one day. But they got Kmet on the hook for like 3 more years. They just signed him. Then they drafted Colson Loveland. And I'm sitting here like, you got 2 tight ends. You got 2 wide receivers. And then you got Burden waiting in the wings. And then Zacchaeus is floating around here catching 40-yard touchdowns in the preseason from Caleb, by the way. This isn't if you're looking at the box score, you're like, oh, that was probably from the backup, Bajan or something. That was from Caleb. He was playing as the third. We got Burden on the second team at the moment. Now, obviously, eventually he probably will work his way in there. We just got too many mouths in the kitchen. This is a Jordan Love situation. I hate to compare it to the Packers. It's a Jordan Love situation where it's like you don't want Christian Watson, you don't want Jaden Reed, like you don't want this plethora of wide receiver 2s. DJ Moore's going, and he probably has the best chance here, but he's going way too early for even him. It's 39. I know he's good, but we got all these other action here. Adenze I was on board with, and he was going in the 6th, 7th round. It was looking great. I think he's going to be the new Keenan Allen. All those 800 yards that Keenan, I just assume was going to go to him. He's the big body guy. He drops one in the preseason. Not saying that's a pitfall for me, but like he wasn't the guy getting 30, 40-yard catches that was happening in the preseason. Now, once again, this is not all just based on preseason. It's just too many mouths to feed, in my opinion. I'm pretty out on everyone. Like maybe Burden as a late flyer just to see what happens, because that could be really fun as the slot receiver. But I mean, tight ends are, I guess, relatively cheap as well. But ADP wise, like DJ Moore and Adenze are just too pricey for me right now. I don't want to say question marks for DJ Moore, but just too high for DJ Moore and question mark for Adenze at the moment. But sorry, Joe, for shitting on your team. But
no, you're good, man. I'm trying not to put too much into the preseason game. But I'm kind of with you. I mean, we saw that was my one concern when everyone was just like, Kmet's dead, Loveland's the shit, he's going to take over. It was like, they just signed him for 4 years, 5 years. He's a very good tight end. And I think they're just going to use both of them because why wouldn't they? And then you add DJ Moore in there. I know everyone's like, oh, he's going to be Amon-Ra, but Caleb loves Rome Adenze. We saw last year. Every time there was a pressure situation, that ball went straight to Rome. So once we see the bullets start flying, I wouldn't be surprised to see Rome kind of overtake DJ in a way. But I could also make the case for DJ, and then you can make the case for any of these guys, really. So I do think their ADPs are a little pricey at this point, and that's assuming that everything works out based off of what we saw against the Bills' backups last week. I mean, it was not a starting defense either. So the good thing is, as a Bears fan perspective, this entire offense outside of Zacchaeus is locked up for the next 3 or 4 years. That's including Burden.
True.
It's if it works, man, this could be really, really nasty. And in Dynasty, I would be investing in these guys because, especially Caleb, like you said.
I think this will be a Tampa Bay Bucks situation, right? Where it's like Chris Godwin and Evans both have 1,000 to 900 yards, but it's like, when are they getting that 1,000 or 900? Like, is DJ Moore going to have one game where it's like 180 and then the next game it's like it's Rome week? Like, I want to see it first, and then all these other question marks. It's like it'd be different if they didn't just draft a essentially first round tight end, and then also have another superstar tight end on their team. Like, I'm kind of just like I'm out right now. Like, DJ Moore is way too pricey for me. I do love Rome. I'm assuming still that he's going to be like that steal of the receivers, but at the end of the day, like his price tag's a little too high for me.
Yeah, and the offense that we saw didn't even have DeAndre Swift out there, who we know is a very good pass catcher. So,
true.
Yeah,
God knows what this turns into. It's going to be fun.
Hope it works. I hope it works. Yeah, no, and honestly, I do think. And Joe, I'm gonna go ahead and say this live on the air. I think Caleb gets the 4,000 mark. Might have cursed it, but I think he's gonna do it.
Bold take. Because it's never.
I need you to say a rosary real quick, and then
the lights behind there are actually a rosary. They're praying as we speak.
That's funny. No, I mean, Joe, you know your team. I agree. I mean, worst case, this is the Green Bay Packers situation. Best case, it's the Tampa Bay Bucks situation. I probably, depending on how late they go, will probably take one of the other guys, like, take a Luther Burden really late just to see if maybe he can work his way into a flex role. Because Keenan Allen giving up all those targets, you just don't know where that's going to go. There's no way DJ Moore gets targeted 140 times again like he did last year. His average was a joke based on how many balls he was thrown and how many points he actually put on the board. But I think I'm agreed. I'm out on the receivers as a whole. I think the offense can be good, but not maybe as individuals. DFS maybe.
I think they
the
hit around their ADPs. I don't think anyone's going to be bad by any means. I just don't think there's any upside. Like, there's a lot of players around DJ Moore's draft pick that you can get upside. Adunze, kind of a shot in the dark at that, 6th, 7th, 8th round. But I think that's where I'm really going to be taking my quarterbacks and tight ends, honestly. So
I will say I agree with everything you're saying, but I do think DJ Moore does have some decent upside because if there's anything Ben Johnson likes to do, it's to get guys in space with the ball. And DJ Moore has been one of those best guys his entire career. So if with the additional weapons, we could see DJ breaking off some bigger plays than we're used to seeing him, especially last year, because you're right. He was getting like three-yard shots, and he'd have 9 catches for 45 yards, and it was a weird situation.
I do love Ben Johnson firing that ball quick. I know that was they preached that before that preseason game because every single ball came out of Caleb's hand within like 2.5 seconds. Like,
when I saw Caleb like look to the right, and then turn and look to the left, and it was all quick, I was just like, oh my God, this is heaven. I've never seen that out of Caleb.
No, he was waiting too long last year. So I'm interested in this, and maybe I'm wrong. This is probably my least confident take. It's just more of like, I'm scared to be drafting DJ Moore in the 4th round, 3rd round. But hopefully he can. He's a great receiver. Love him. Love to see him succeed and in the system. And now that there's an offensive line, there's hope, right?
Always hope.
True. All right, moving on to the last person that we're going to talk about tonight. And I can't say I'm like super confident in this one, but at the same point, like I also can see this going off the rails really quick. And it's Ramondre Stevenson. The real reason, because where he's being drafted is actually not bad. I think he's either in the 9th or 10th round. I can't remember which one I was seeing. But like that, and that's not a bad spot to take him, honestly. My concern with Ramondre is I feel like if the Patriots were winning these games and they needed him to come in and kind of run the ball and run the clock out and like actually just salt the game away, he would definitely return value because I think that's where his strengths are at this point. I just feel like they're going to put in Henderson in these packages to try to catch up and try to like make a quicker, basically just use a faster guy out there at the running back spot. And that's Henderson. You saw it last year when shit was hitting the fan. They just took Ramondre off the field completely and just put a pass catching guy out there to kind of just, Antonio Gibson to just kind of run it out. And I feel like that's going to be happening more this year because the expectations are going to be higher. I do think that this team's going to be trying to compete, whereas last year I feel like they were slightly tanking a little bit. The offensive line is a little bit better too, and Drake May will be a little bit better, I assume, over this offseason. I don't want to get caught in where I draft him as a guy I'm planning to use, and then he gets slowly worked out of the offense to where he's only in there for third downs. He's only in there for short yardage stuff. And, like, I know they have him under contract and everything. I get all the arguments for using him and especially where he's going. But I don't want a Rachaad White on my team, basically. Like, I just don't want a guy that's still going to get some usage but is going to get slowly phased out for maybe it's Gibson and Henderson. I don't know. Like, I just don't want to be holding the bag on Stevenson this season, even though he could, again, turn completely out if they start winning games and needing salt to the ball away.
So hot take here. I almost put Travion as my don't buy, don't draft.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just worried about this offense all around. And now, I completely agree with the fact that Ramondre just was completely off the field in pass catching situations for no reason because the man caught 70 balls 2 years ago.
And he's good at pass blocking, which is even wilder that they took him off. But
I mean, he could have been on the field and he could have had a huge year. I know we're not doing this for fantasy football, but what you said that the Patriots are 10 projected to win 10 games or whatever, like that's a Vegas bet. So like now if they are winning 10 games, like Stevenson's huge, right? I don't believe in that though. Like I believe that I honestly am just worried this is going to be just an actual 50-50 split. And now Travion's going to be in those pass catching situations. That's why I took him off because I'm like, this is exactly what happened last year. It's like I can't say don't draft Travion when they just pulled Stevenson in every pass scenario. And Travion obviously is explosive and everything. I'm just worried that you're not getting Henderson's going way high, by the way, like for a split backfield. Like I think everyone just forgets about Stevenson. I'm not against drafting Stevenson. I don't say he's on my like watch list by any means, sleepers or anything, but I'm not against drafting him because he is a great running back. And if this team is actually good, I could see Stevenson having a pretty big role in that. But I don't know. I don't know what I think about this team. This team's weird. Like I don't want them to be good because
them and the Jets can't figure it out.
Yeah.
No, the Jets are tough, man.
Well, I'm hoping for the Jets, man. They that fan base, man. Poor guys and girls.
Poor guys.
There, like just rough times.
Hey, here's what I think of when I think of last year's Patriots is the Jaguars, right? They were a mess last year. They didn't have any talent on that. Well, the Jaguars had talent, but it was just a total mess. And I think as a fantasy community, we have kind of accepted the Jaguars are going to bounce back, but we haven't done the same thing with the Patriots. I think they have a really easy schedule, and I think that they can make some noise this year. Like you said, they're projected to win 10 games. Ramondre is going to be a big part of that, and I think Gibson coming in that preseason game and being the starter when Ramondre wasn't in there tells you a lot about what you need to know about how they plan to use Travion Henderson. We saw Henderson at Ohio State. He had a lot of these little tiny injuries that kept him out. There's a reason they went and got Judkins for that team and made that. They don't want Travion carrying all of the load. So I think that Ramondre is actually going to be used a lot more than a lot of people are thinking that he's going to be used. And then Henderson's really going to be the lightning component to the offense, which we've seen in the preseason. He's been awesome. But I don't think that he's just going to come in there and play 80% of the snaps, even though he's a rookie, even though he has fresh legs. He did a lot at Ohio State. But I think it's wrong to project Travion Henderson just to come out and take over this backfield. I think it's going to be Ramondre and Travion. Kind of like you said, Josh, it could be a weird 50-50 split, but I don't think Ramondre is just going to be phased out as much. So I'm open to drafting him. He is going one spot above J.K. Dobbins right now, and if you have that decision to make, please take J.K. Dobbins.
I was about to say I would definitely have Dobbins instead, but I don't know. It's not that I'm saying do not draft him, and he is going super late, so it's not like you're burning a third round pick on this. But I just don't want to be the one holding the bag. I don't ever want to leave a draft thinking like, I might not have a good running back here that's going to be with a starter for the whole season. Like maybe he gets downgraded to a flex play or something. I don't know. I just the vibes aren't good for me there.
He's one of those that could go either way, and that's not what you want. Kind of like you said. It's just like, I don't know. I wouldn't mind trading for him if you're in a deep dynasty league, though, because people are probably totally
dynasty. I would hold him, like, because you're definitely going to need him at some point in the season. But just in redraft, I'm like, maybe I go somewhere else. Maybe I go J.K. Dobbins. I don't know.
Definitely go Dobbins
for sure. All right, that is our do not draft list. I like when we can be just straight up haters.
This was way more cordial than I expected.
No reason. It was. I do feel like we didn't really use that many controversial names. Like, I feel like every name we brought up tonight, including the Bears' entire wide receiver core, is like, yeah, okay, I get what you're saying there. Like, I get the point.
That's not true, man. There's lots of love on Jaden Daniels, R.J. Harvey, A.J. Brown. I mean, we just ended on the softer names, man.
Don't draft Saquon Barkley.
Exactly. Like, that would be like spicy right off the bat. So like, don't draft Saquon like that. That would.
I was talking to Joe. I was talking to Joe about this. I actually thought that ADP is spread really well this year, though. Like, it's not. There wasn't like someone that I felt like my hater last year was Garrett Wilson, and I was absolutely correct. Like, why are we drafting him in the first round? Like, that is not it. Like, and we've already kind of talked about the whole like the Pukas, the Brian Thomases, and it's like I can't say don't draft them because there's no reason to say not to draft them. They're really good receivers. They could be really good. I mean, I'm not super excited about drafting them in the first round, but like I think they're second round picks at the very least. It's like there wasn't anyone where I was like, oh, absolutely, get him out of here, except for Chase Brown, which y'all already know my hate. And I didn't really have that conversation with y'all, again.
Yeah. Well, and then there's just some situations like Jaylen Warren. Like I tossed around that idea a couple times in my head. I'm just like, I don't know. Maybe he is going to be the full guy. Maybe Arthur Smith's like, screw us drafting a running back that people wanted us to draft. Like, we're just going to run Jaylen Warren the entire season. I'm just like, I don't want to be that. Or like Judkins was another one. I know his ADP is stupid low right now, but like, with the off the field stuff, it's like, I don't know. I mean, he's probably not going to get anything, probably not even going to get suspended, but it's like, what do? Do you draft him? Do you not? I don't know. Like, it's
he has to sign his contract.
Very interesting year. Well, that would be an issue, annoying. Joe. And if I was the Browns, I probably would be putting some heavy stuff in there based on what's already happened.
I feel like he just needs to take whatever the hell they put on that paper right now and just go play football.
I definitely would do that and just maybe hope that your second contract is better.
I know all the other second rounders got guaranteed money and all that, and that's great. We like player contracts, but bro, you fucked up. Take what they give you and go play football.
Yeah, for sure. And then we didn't use the age argument either. Like Derrick Henry, he's old. Alvin Kamara, old. Like we didn't use that either. Like
steal, dude.
I agree. No, I'm just saying like we didn't use some of the tropes that a lot of the young kids are still using because they haven't been around the block as long as we have.
I feel like James Conner it really wasn't because he's old. It's just that they have another guy, right? Like it's just like that is waiting in the wings.
It's like why wouldn't they try this other dude? Because like last year they just didn't use Benson.
I mean, at least the split, yeah.
Why wouldn't you do this? Because you have a 30-year-old running back. Like I don't know.
For sure.
Who's not Derrick Henry?
That is all we have this week. Next week we will see what the podcast is going to be because it could be literally we have a mixed bag of stuff coming up before the season. We've already done rankings. We've done our hater stuff. I guess we could do boldest take. I feel like we love doing that, or like hot takes or whatever.
I love a good hot take.
We haven't done that, so maybe we'll kick around some hot takes or something.
Speaking of a hot take,
guest lineup. Yeah, Josh.
Why don't you go ahead and pick up a fireball shot? We'll do on the hot takes episode because I believe you owe one. Sadly, no. Do it for next week. Do it next week.
Next. Okay, I actually have them in my fridge right now. Weirdly
hot
enough.
Takes.
But I'll do it next week for sure because Jalen McMillan, thank you for your service. You've already lost me a bet. Not his fault. It's an injury, but still, it is personally affecting me. But we'll do
victory
that.
lap those, kind of like with Richardson.
For sure. All right.
Dude, that picture they used of him with the neck brace was so sad. I mean,
was there a picture of the neck brace of McMillan?
Yeah, they had a picture of the neck brace, and it was just like
I hate that.
The least flattering angle, and he just looked really down and depressed. And it was.
I would be too if I was.
I mean, it's great for me. No, I would too. Believe me. But if I saw a camera pointing at me, I'd be like smiling, like "fuck you! Don't take a picture of me, you piece
I'd be like,
of shit."
please delete that, man. I'm in a neck brace. Like I can't even fight you right now.
Yeah,
for sure. No, can't fight with a neck brace on. Words to live by. Joe, get us out of here.
Good night.
See ya.